we're very happy to welcome Sister Rejane Cytacki. She is, of course, a sister of charity in Levenworth, Kansas.
Good morning, sister.
Good morning, Ron and Dave. How are you both?
Good. It is great to hear your voice live on the radio.
Yes, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
good to have you back.
Yeah. So today I thought I'd talk about, we're on the eve of October tomorrow, and which begins the month of the Rosary, and I thought I'd talk about a Marian consecration.
Oh,
perfect.
And so, if you talk about that, you've got to talk about St. Louis de Montfort, right? He was the champion of Mary with his book, True Devotion to the Blessed Virgin, and he had zeal spreading the practice of the Rosary as well. So I'm actually myself preparing for my first time doing it, consecration to Mary. The book is 33 Days to Morning Glory by Father Michael E. Gately. He's a MIC. Yeah. Have either of you done a consecration?
Actually, St. Louis de Montfort was one of the first books I was introduced to when I first met the Lord back in 1987. Wow. So I went through all of that, but the 33 Days to Morning Glory, which is kind of a more concise approach to this, is a great way to do it. A little easier to understand, a little easier to follow, honestly.
Yeah. That's kind of why I signed up for it, to be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Father Gately says, you want to remain in an atmosphere of heart pondering prayer, and he says it's not just a time of preparation, but an actual retreat. So, but I agree. I think it's more maybe accessible to those of us modern readers, right? And but Father Michael really does a good job, like explaining Louis' Marian consecration, and he through the retreat there's like 4 weeks, and he uses 4 different Marian giants to help. And so obviously St. Louis de Montfort, and then St. Maximilian Kolbe, St. Mother Teresa of Calcutta, and St. Pope John Paul II. So 4 really big Marian saints.
Really good company,
aren't they? Yeah, really good, right? And many of our popes have been spiritually transformed by making Montfort's Marian consecration, and St. Pope John Paul II is our most recent, and his papal motto was "Totus tuus," which means "totally yours," taken right from the consecration of Montfort. So, there's just so many connections here. So I learned a little bit more about St. Louis. He was because I've only just done the first week. Okay, so I'm still working through it. But he was 43 when he died, and he had been a priest for 16 years. And I liked this. Father Gately says he inherited a fiery temper from his father, but through God's grace and prayer, he transformed it into zeal for bringing people to Jesus through Mary. And that's exactly what a Marian consecration does. It brings you closer to Jesus through Mary. And St. Louis has 2 emphases in the consecration. One is you renew your baptismal vows, and 2, to make a particularly intimate gift of ourselves to Mary. So I'm just going to focus on that first one, the renewal of our baptismal promises. And we need to know that the day of our baptism really is the most significant event in our lives. And I know I've talked about this before on here. As religious, we have it written right into our Constitution. But I think lay people, sometimes we don't always realize it. So, on that joyous occasion, right, we solemnly promised, or someone, if we were infants, others promised for us to reject Satan. And then we, or others in our name, professed our faith and commitment to Jesus. And then every Easter after, we always solemnly renew these promises and commitment. So in the Marian consecration, we renew our baptismal promises and place them in the hands of Mary, which helps us to remember how significant it is. And it's an act that goes a long way, again, to recommitting us to follow Jesus. So that's why St. Louis really makes this essential in his prayer of consecration. So some of the words, I'll just read a little excerpt of it, is, I, you put your name in, a sinner, renew and ratify today in thy hands the vows of my baptism. I renounce forever Satan, his pomp and works, and I give myself entirely to Jesus Christ, the incarnate Word, to carry my cross after him all the days of my life, and to be more faithful to him so that than I have ever been before. So St. Louis really has us attack sin right at its root, right? Satan and his pomps and works, and has us recommit our lives to Christ, and has us do all of this through Mary. Mm-hmm. So
beautiful,
yeah.
Beautiful. And this month of the Rosary, of course, Pope Leo has asked us to pray the Rosary daily for peace as well during this month of October as well. So that's a great reminder, and what a great book, Father Michael Gately. Sister, thank you so much.
To
You're
Jesus
welcome.
through Mary. We'll be praying as you continue forward in that consecration. Encourage everybody to pick up that book, 33 Days to Morning Glory, Father Gately. A wonderful breakdown of St. Louis de Montfort's original book. So thank you, sister. God bless you. Have a great day.
All right. God bless.